Hi, I mean,
Hi, Anong, you're back.
yes, I'm sorry. The network
Hello,
is
we were
so
just
bad.
talking about telecom, and Avery and myself are discussing how difficult it is for us when we do not have control of a network and we have to depend on Avery
Hi,
for.
Helen. I'm in.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Anum, can you hear me? We can hear you. No.
We can, I
Hi,
can.
yes,
Yeah,
but,
we
but
can hear
this
you.
one is better
Are you
because I'm using the phone now.
okay? I think your network is a bit shaky, Anum, but we can hear you. Anung, I think, has got a network issue. Anung, can you hear us? You're unmuted. Anung, you might want to unmute yourself. Yeah, I think you're in a better reception now. Unmute yourself, Anung. Avery, what do you do when these things happen?
Well, I switched to my backup connection because
Okay. Yes, yes, I know. Not everybody is fortunate to have a backup. Anung, you need to unmute yourself. We can see you. The clarity of your picture is a lot better. I think you're moving into closer to a router. Yeah, he's got stuck again. So every now you've resumed work, I guess, because I can see an office environment. Are your
I
are your workforce back resumed?
not entirely. We're still on voluntary return to work. So on days we feel like taking a break from work from home, we can come to the office.
Oh, that's nice. It should have been the other way around, right? But look at the times that are better. And Avery, do you feel like working from home is more productive than working in office? What are your
It's
thoughts?
well for me it's the same because I think I'm lucky that I have a environment at home so I can concentrate, I can be productive, I can take meetings. It may not necessarily be the case for everyone.
Everyone. True.
Yes, at the same time, I think there are some people who would prefer to be around people when they work.
Yes.
I
Yes.
I am very flexible. I can be alone, I can be with people. So it's totally fine with me.
True.
So to each his own, I think. But
Yes.
what we try to do is we try to keep our ears to the ground. What is it that
Yeah.
people are saying? The predominant concern of people now is how to go back to work and make sure that they are safe from the virus.
Yes.
So
That's priority. That's priority. I remember talking to a few HR people. I said, "What do you all miss most of working from home?" He said, "We miss all the coffee chats that we used to have down the corridor."
yes,
And I think that those are times when you kind of literally bond with your colleagues and have those few moments of downtime for yourself. So yeah, Anum, good to have you back. You can
Yes,
unmute yourself.
yes,
We're still waiting for
yes,
Sandrine to
Helen.
come in.
I'm so sorry. I have to find a good place to sit and have a good network. Then, I think.
Excellent, excellent. So you beat the
Sorry
network
about that,
today.
Helen and
No, that's
Avery.
okay. That's perfectly okay. That's perfectly okay. I was just chat. We are going to be chatting up till Sandrine comes in because I think she's having a signing network issue. She's in Dubai, and my team is trying to resolve it. So while she's on,
Oh, okay. I'm gonna ask you where. How about Bahrain? Because I never been in Bahrain. I hope I can
you
visit
must
Bahrain then.
visit us. You must visit us. It's a beautiful country. The people are wonderful, very
Okay,
hospitable, very kind,
sure.
very respectful. It's home away from home, and I can say that because
Hmm.
I've been in this country for the last 25 years, and it doesn't feel
Oh,
that I'm away from home. So as an expatriate,
oh,
if I
okay,
can say that, then you can
okay,
just imagine. Yeah, the amazing country. You must
okay.
see. It's a beautiful island. It's called the Pearl of the
Yep.
Gulf. And
Oh.
if you want to gift your wife some pearls, this is the place to
Mm-hmm.
come to.
Oh.
So you get
Then
freshwater
then
pearls.
then
Yes.
should come then.
Okay. All right. Thanks. They're still my technical team is still trying to help Sandrine. So Anu, what about you? In your country, in Indonesia, what
Mm-hmm.
is what is the general scene of HR? Are they still working from home? Have you all resumed? How's the pandemic situation there?
Okay, well, we are trying to have like 20% to 50% work from the office.
Okay.
However, we start also using a satellite office or remote office. So we have a lot of facility in my company. We have like branches and something like that. So we develop the branches as a satellite office or remote office. So employees doesn't go to the office pretty frequently, so they can work at the office close to their home. And we are trying to also develop the smart office and combining with the hoteling system. So we, if the employees wants to go to the office or work at the office, and then they have to apply first before entering the office. That's kind of
Before
the
the
mechanic.
entry. Okay. So you're like
I think that
controlling
that
the
is
entry.
yes, yes, yes. I think that is the most important condition now.
True, true. I think as Avery also mentioned, she has a similar situation, and I think the paramount thing, most important, is the safety of your employees, and it's nice to have these policies in place where their safety is priority. Now, having said that, with the but generally in the country, how's the situation in the pandemic? Is it the rates coming down, or the cases are still constant, or how does that work?
Well, it's a good news because across Indonesia we adding daily adding cases only less than 1,000. The last 2 months, I think we have a second wave of COVID. So the daily comings like 50,000 to almost 50,000. So that's why we are now it's getting better. There's no queuing in the hospital, so there's no queuing in the hotel for isolation. So that's why, yeah, I think now it's getting better, and I have zero case in my company now.
Excellent. That's amazing, remarkable. Are you all able to go out and eat out, and theaters, restaurants, are they all open for public
Sure.
use,
Yep.
or are you all kind of still in a kind of a
Yep.
lockdown?
Yep. Yep.
Oh, great.
we we
It's good for the
we
economy.
we can enter the yeah, we can enter the mall using the application. So of course we have to submit the healthy check using the application. And also we still use the report of the healthy check also for children, elderly people, and something like that. So I think the 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 good news is we are more disciplined on our healthy. I think that is the impact of the COVID-19. Before that,
Yes,
maybe we are careless with our
more
healthy,
conscious.
and now we are more disciplined with our health.
Very good. Excellent. I think sometimes your worst situations bring out the best in you and the best awareness as well. So yes, I totally understand. And I think even this side, people are more conscious about what they eat, how they eat, and mental health as well has taken a toll, right? It's not just your physical health, mental health. How are you all coping with that in your organizations? Have you all had cases or any cases of mental health where you all were able to support your people during the pandemic? Because a lot of I know globally they had loads of issues, and I counsel a lot of women. So for me, there were so many women that were strapped in situations where they live in abusive relationships, and to have an abusive partner 24/7, as opposed to having him just for a respite for 8 or 9 hours when he's away. I think that takes a toll on families as well, right? So did you all have any cases like these that you all were trying to kind of support?
Well, I can relate to what you said, Helen, because we do notice that there's a rise in the number of mental health cases today. And what's unique in the Philippines, I think, the ones that are mostly affected would those be living in confined spaces. I'm not
Okay.
sure how it is like in Bahrain, but let's say in the metro, we do have a lot of employees living in condominium. So that means they are living in very small and closed spaces. And the tendency when people are in lockdown and they're in enclosed spaces, it almost feels like you're in a cage. You cannot really
Yes.
go out because you're scared to get the virus, right? So in our case, it's mostly those people living in the condos. They're getting all sorts of cabin fever, elevated stress, anxiety. So it's not really specific to people in a relationship, but people who are living in enclosed spaces.
Yes, yes. I think I know there are cases of all types, right? You could have children were impacted as well. Imagine having to kind of have your kids 24/7 sit in the house, no playing, no outdoors. It takes a toll on their mental health as well. And for parents to cope, having going through difficult times, I think that's a challenge too. So there was, and I'm glad we're just coming out of it. People are going back to their workplaces. They're able to see and breathe some fresh air. And I think that's a great thing. And for HR, I think it was the most difficult situation to be in, managing people of in a catastrophe that nobody had ever experienced. So there was nothing to fall back, for you to kind of lean on in terms of support, or in terms of anything that was best practices, or what was it was just learning on the job. And I think HR has done a great job, and we at HRM Summit, we have these platforms and invite speakers like yourself to share what best did you all do, so that others can learn from. um,
Mm-hmm. Well, the interesting part is we actually made it possible for employees to connect with mental health uh, professionals.
right.
But even with these channels available to them, Helen, they would still prefer to talk to somebody they know.
One on one, yes.
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 So they don't really like the idea of opening up to a stranger. So they would rather talk to somebody from HR who they know, or they would rather talk with their bosses. I'm not sure if it's unique to the Philippines, but mental health is not really an open issue in the Philippines. In fact, it's not yet part of healthcare coverage because typically you don't consider it as an illness. Okay? Until today, because I think because of the pandemic, we've seen a number of people getting mental health conditions. So that's the interesting part. They want to talk with somebody they know, somebody they're familiar with.
Yes, true. And the other part, the other area that I kind of found very, very common among the people that I counsel in India is they were afraid of being judged for whatever they would share.
Yes.
And as you rightly said, it there are some who want to talk to people they know, but there are also the flip side of it is they do not want to talk to people they know because they're afraid of being judged. And we as a society, we are so quick to judge people, right? And this pandemic has kind of taught us so many lessons as to understanding people's pain, because each one comes, from varied backgrounds, and most of them are suffering silently, which is a killer. Having people to talk to, just there are women who just wanted, irrespective of getting support or no support, they just wanted to vent what they were feeling. And men as well. It's not just women, but even men. Having lost their jobs, being the only breadwinner, there's a lot of anxiety as well, and they just wanted somebody to talk to, that they can have a patient ear, and just get it out, because there are, if you talk to people close to you, you're being judged. You want to keep a certain persona within your family members, and you don't want, I had a friend of mine, he was looking for a job and I was helping him, and I said, I'll post your CV on LinkedIn, and I've got, over 8,000 networks, so definitely you'll get some response. And he said, oh Helen, please don't post it on LinkedIn. And I said, why not?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, because I don't want my family to know that I'm looking for a job. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
that is such a sad place to be, because the first place you want is your family support, you want moral support, because that's your backbone, right? But as you rightly said, there are so many people facing so many different situations, and each one is different, each case is different. um,
That's true.
I think Sandrine is not able to join. So what I think I would do is, just if you can just bear with me for 1 second, okay? Let me just
Go
connect
ahead.
with Sandrine and see.
Hi, Helen.
Hi, Anong. I think Helen is trying to call Sandrine.
Oh, okay, okay, Free. I'm hopefully my network is getting better because I moved to downstairs rather than in the seventh floor. So hopefully it's getting better now, more
It
stable
seems
then.
it seems better than earlier. You were breaking up earlier. Now it's clearer and just
Okay,
continuous.
okay, good. Yeah, I feel like breaking because also I cannot hear you and Helen before.
Okay, I think Helen is just trying to contact Sandrine. Sandrine is having a hard time connecting through the platform.
Mm,
Yeah,
okay.
Sandrine is using. Hi guys. Yeah, I just tried
Hey,
to
Helen.
connect with Sandrine. She uses a network which does not support it. Salat is another network that supports it, and we're trying level best to kind of help her, but for some reason she's not able to join in. So I've asked her to share the questions, and maybe I can moderate the panel and ask you all the questions. So waiting for her to share them, and then probably we
Mm-hmm.
can take it forward. All right, just bear with me. All right,
Okay,
I'll just
okay.
wait for her to share these questions. Just bear with me. Okay, I think we've. Avery, are we ready? Anu, are you ready?
Ready for you, Helen?
Awesome, awesome. Sorry to disappoint you all with Sandri not able to join, but let's make the best of what we have. So, Anung, let me start with you. The first question goes to you. Since last year, what changes have you implemented in total rewards approaches around you? And have things changed between the beginning of the pandemic and in the current that we are right now? Anu, you need to unmute yourself. Anu, did you hear me, or should I repeat myself?
Yes, yes, yes. Can you
Yeah,
repeat
I will.
the last
I'll repeat the
sentence,
question for
Helen?
you.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
so since last year, what changes have you implemented in total rewards approaches
Mm-hmm.
around you? And have things
Mm-hmm.
changed between the beginning of the pandemic as opposed to the current times that we are now?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes, I think the first of all, I would like to say the pandemic or COVID-19 changed the thinking of about the total rewards in the term of allocation of the benefits such as medical caring to the employees. And for me, the COVID-19 is the commander of the HR strategy. So the all of HR strategy uh, were built before COVID-19 are changed and become a second best practice to be implemented. Important, the most changing in my practice, Helen, and also the coronavirus pandemic has caused a tremendous disruption in life and business, and also the HR is becoming a key to supporting companies and catalyzing the change in the workplace. I think that is the whole idea of changing environment and also the total reward in our company.
Excellent, excellent. That's amazing. I like the fact that you've had the COVID forced you to change your strategies. It's normally the other way around, right? And over here, the COVID forced you to change strategies. And has that been received well within your organization? I know you mentioned a little while ago that you had 8,000 people. So has that been well received? Has that been an inclusive strategy?
Yeah, yeah. So from I think to elaborate your question, Helen, uh, the organization actually just receive all of the new strategy because they must now rethink, reimagine, and also reconsider how they foster the talent, deliver the services, and strengthen the new dynamic organization through the forward thinking of HR strategy. uh, I think the COVID-19 pandemic has offered the opportunity to rethink and reframe the compensation practice. More we have to have more competitive pay, and also the employee well-being continue to be the really the top priorities. Until now, we still focus on developing the competitive pay and also uh, building the new employee well-being to all employees.
Excellent. I think, Anung, what is commendable about your organization is that they have been able to evolve along with the times. And they've not been rigid in their approach. And I think that kind of leadership speaks volumes about the company itself. So thank you for sharing that. Let me go to Avery. Avery, can you share an example of successful total rewards approach that you have encountered or implemented? It's nice to start with something positive. So go ahead.
Thank you, Helen. Well, during this pandemic, we know that everything seems so disrupted and abnormal, right? So you just can't operate like it's business as usual or BAU. And for people like us, for HR people like us, our role as champions of caring for our people becomes even more vital amidst the stress, the anxieties, the uncertainties. And if we want our employees to be truly motivated, engaged, and productive, we cannot keep doing things as BAU or business as usual. We really need to think out of the box. And
Yes.
earlier in our informal chat, I was also telling you that much as we want to get all the additional budget, we don't always get it. That's why we need to be creative and resourceful. So I'd like to share with you two examples of initiatives that we have done last year. One of them is the conversion of vacation leaves to purchase work from home tools. So because pandemic time, nobody's really going out on vacations. They're not really using their leaves, right? So instead of not doing anything about it, we thought, why don't we allow employees to convert their vacation leaves into cash so that they can purchase work from home tools?
Okay.
And you know what? People actually liked it because they cannot take their leaves anyway. They cannot go to the beach. They cannot travel out of the country. So they might as well just use the leaves for something else. And what better way to use it other than purchase work from home tools, right? The other one that we implemented also last year would be partnering with the vendors externally who can provide other tools of work. And these are not just limited to an additional desktop or, let's say, a headset. We partner with even appliance shops because some employees want to have a new aircon installed in their house, maybe a new TV, because for some reason employees like having multiple screens while working. And so, aside from the VL conversion, we also came up with employee perks and offers at discounted rates. And they are salary deductible. So we came up with a scheme by which they can avail of these offers, 12 months to pay, using their salary deduction at no interest.
Oh,
And
lovely.
and it was a hit, okay? And I'll give you one specific example. People love our office chairs. This
Yes.
particular
Oh,
chair
yes.
is,
I've got a similar one. I have a similar one.
yes, it's an ergonomic chair. It's a
Okay.
very expensive one, and
Yes.
from your own salary, you will really think twice if you will buy
Yes.
it, right? But many employees are like saying, "We like our chairs in the office. Can you make that available for us?" So we actually included that in our employee perks, discounted rate. They can pay for it in 12 months every 15, 30th. They get the same chair that they have in
Nice.
the office. So
and
those are
and
two
they get the
examples.
and they get the same feel of an office but at home from the comforts of their home. I think that's amazing. That's, for our audience is just going to love your strategy of converting vacation leaves into cash and using it so beautifully, and giving them the flexibility to have a choice rather than being imposing it on them. You're giving them just choice to do what they feel like with that kind of a wide range of initiative. Fantastic. That's amazing. How did they receive it? Were they excited? What was the feedback you all were receiving? I'm feeling so excited just listening to you. So what was theirs?
They were so happy about it because imagine, first month of work from home, we made a survey and we asked them, what are some things that you wish you could have so that you could work more effectively at home? And that's one of the first things that came up, Helen. We want our office chairs. We want our comfortable, ergonomic office chairs. But you know for a fact that we cannot let them bring it home, right? Because it's never going to come back. And so we thought, maybe if the VL conversion is not enough, let's just make sure we offer it to them at a price they can afford. That's why discounted rate, and with terms that they can manage, which is 1 whole year to pay. Okay, 1 whole year to pay every 15, 30th, no interest, and it's
Right.
yours, right? So
Amazing.
well received.
Amazing. No interest is burning out, and with limited budget. And sometimes, organizations think that rewards is having to give them cash, a bonus, or an increment, or whatever. But sometimes employees don't even want that. They just want a thank you letter or something to somebody to appreciate them, right? And how did your initiative? How did it affect your bottom line? Did the productivity of your employees increase? How did that translate into better performance? Avery, do you all have any statistics to share?
We did check with our employees how well they receive these offers, and these are one of the good things that came up. And they said, we should keep exploring other ways to make it easier, make it better for our employees. And they gave a lot of kudos to those simple programs. And to your point, you are right. It's not just about the money, but you also have to take a look at the non-monetary things that you can do for them.
True, true, true. And did that increase bottom line profitability? Did it increase? Did your performance rate go up? Employee performance at an individual rate, did that go up? Did that rise?
I cannot say that the productivity is much better, but at least coming from their feedback on how on how their working condition is so far, it has contributed
Excellent.
positively. Okay, so the
Right.
positive testimonials would be a good indicator for us.
Yes,
In terms
absolutely.
of
And that will
needs,
translate into better performance because you've now got happier employees, right?
yes, I agree. Yes.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Anu, you're off camera again. Uh,
Yes,
yes.
I'm
Okay.
I'm trying to I'm trying to use off camera because it's a better network or not. That's why
No,
I'm
you're
trying.
very
But that's
clear
okay.
now.
Don't
You're very
worry.
clear now. So stay
I'm
where you are because you're very clear.
yeah, because the network is something like up and down, so that's why
Yeah,
I have to find a good way to
I know.
to
Totally
explain.
understand. So let me ask
That's
you,
that's
besides
Helen.
technical aspects of putting together a comprehensive rewards, recognition, benefits approach, Anu, what do you think is an important aspect of implementing the program successfully? Were you able to
Sorry,
hear?
Helen.
Okay, I'm
The
going to
network
repeat
is
that.
breaking again. So
No worries. I'm going to repeat the question. So, besides the technical aspects of putting together a comprehensive rewards, recognition, and benefits approach, what do you think is the most important aspect of implementing the program successfully?
uh well, I think given that that program is really important, I think I can say that we all focus on a non-financial reward. I think the non-financial reward is more appropriate, more important now, because that non-financial reward is becoming more increasingly significant as the you know how do we retain the talent with the flexibility of the post-COVID workplace. We also have the total reward increase importance on the culture context and also the conversation on the equity in especially on the internal equity. So with the current disruption, I think we should have the unique opportunity to the organization to the think to the total reward philosophy. I agree with the what every mentioned before. Something like giving. I think it's a kind of the small things like a chair or something like the new something in the new for the workplace, and this is one of the good strategy that we wants to implement.
And you just had Avery sharing three more strategies, which probably you can implement and consider discussing it with your manager because I think they're just absolutely amazing.
Yep,
Interest free,
yep,
giving them
yep. And
such
also,
benefits,
I
catching on.
yep.
Go ahead, Anu.
I think also, Helen, I think I can add the program, like we have like flexible work option,
Yes.
increase a new technology for the total reward, and also the changing of nature works. I think so that is the good things, when we talk about total reward. It's just not just material, not just the financial reward, and also the important things and non-financial reward.
Right. I like that you mentioned changing nature of work. Given the situation, probably some might not be fit to work in the positions that they are, and for you all to offer that flexibility of changing the nature of work as opposed to getting rid of them, and letting them go. I think that's again another feather in your cap in terms of your leadership. That's amazing. I'm so happy to hear these amazing initiatives. Avery, coming back to you, which element of the total reward package do you feel is often underused by organizations and why? And what do you think this element brings to organizations when they implement it effectively?
Helen, earlier we said that money is important, but it's not the only thing important, right? So I actually think that there has been numerous studies of late showing that non-monetary rewards actually have greater and long-lasting impact on employee
Impact.
morale because more than the economic value, they give you emotional value. So I think we should consider doing more of this. And there could be a lot of examples: sponsorship to conferences, educational scholarships, giving away company memorabilia, or anything that associates them with a company. That's one example I'd like to share with you that, it's very simple and yet people actually receive it very well. After weeks of work, and I mean weeks and weeks of long hours of work, trying to migrate a system from a legacy to a new one of our teams, one of the teams in our company, their boss sent them an email a week before saying, "Team, on this day, I will let you take a time off. You don't need to file for a leave. You don't need to put it in your work day. Just take that time off to do anything that you want. You can do online learning, you can just look at your desktop, clean up your email, or you can just not do anything." Okay? It's time off for you because you've spent lots of time working on this project, and I think it's about time you take your time off. You know what? That simple gesture went a long way because employees started sending an email back to the leader saying, "Oh my God, this almost brought me to tears because it's just acknowledging that we have been spending blood, sweat, and tears making this project work, and we really appreciate it." Imagine there's no money involved there, Helen. It was just one day.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
One day,
Absolutely.
right? So that's, to me, that's a simple example.
Yes. And the most impactful, more than anything else, that's the true impact. That's the lasting impact that you leave in the hearts and minds of your employees when you acknowledge them, when you appreciate their hard work. And the fact that your leader came out and said, have your me time, do what you wish to do without anybody questioning you. And I think most people, even in the normal circumstances, like they don't have to be employees, but I think people in general have forgotten what it is to have me time, even if it's just sitting in a garden and watching the birds and the greenery around you, or appreciating the flowers or the animals around you. People don't have that me time, and those are the real buzz moments in your life that spark up energy for you in an instant, right? So I'm so happy that you'll have these amazing breakthroughs in terms of coming up with some novel ideas, which is not costing bottom line profitability. It's not costing you all, but again, the impact is much more than any financial reward would bring you, right? Because financial rewards are very monetary. But when you talked about memorabilia, for example, they would grow old, they could retire, and they could have those thoughts coming back, refreshing their memories and going back down memory lane and feeling a sense of nostalgia that this is what I rightly earned rather than just got it. And I
True.
think that's so important. Thanks for sharing that. So let me ask you, what advice, so what element of reward package do you feel, Anu, would be underused by organizations, and why?
And also based on every implementation of the total rewards. I think I can see that the two important things on the rewards is right now currently because of the pandemic, because of COVID-19, is the holistic well-being. I think that is the most important one.
Yes.
The well-being is not just a physical wellness, but
Yes.
also about the cognitive and emotional health. Yeah, we have to provide those kind of things to increase the cognitive and also the emotional health of the employees. The employers actually should to step up the ensuring easy access to care and ideally proactive screening for the mental health condition of the employees. And also the pandemic has expanded empathy of the work life. Actually, that is that is the most important things now. Uh, the last the next two is about the work life. I think Helen already mentioned that they should have like me time. They should have like the good work life balance or something like that. Most companies, including Pegadaian, actually is report that will continue some level of working from home, and HR should support that kind of the option. Even though we know that using the technology, we will have a bunch of meeting in the night. So again, this is my joke actually. We are not working 300 days per year, but we should work 265 days per year. It's same with the why the Microsoft put the 365 Microsoft. So because we have to open the Microsoft on every day,
Yes.
not just 300 days, but it's 365 days. We have to open our laptop, work, and also have a like online meeting and etc. So uh, the pandemic itself has increased the trend of the employers playing or expanding roles in something like employees' financial, physical, and mental well-being. I think that is the most important now in my company in Pegadaian, and we are continue on developing and also implementing that kind of things.
Excellent.
Thanks,
That's amazing initiatives. You rightly said empathy is the number one. You look at McKinsey reports, you look at all of these. The latest finding is empathy is the number one need in every organization, especially in times of today.
Yep,
And I'm glad that you
yep,
mentioned that. And cognitive and emotional well-being, I think, is so important, because we just look at the physical part of it without looking at the mental. And I think mental illness is on the
yep,
rise with the situations that we
yep,
are. And I'm glad that you all are kind of keeping that on the forefront of your employee well-being in your
yep,
organizations. Having said
yep.
that, do you have counselors on board? Do you have full-time counselors on board that are able to reach out to your employees in terms of need? Could be departmental wise, could be from an organizational point of view.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you have that option for employees to reach out for anyone who wishes to talk to somebody? Is that
Yes,
what you have
actually,
in
actually,
place?
yeah, yeah, we have like 14,000 employees across Indonesia, and actually that those 40,000 employees are 90% work in the service for the
Right.
customer.
Okay.
So we only 8 to 10% work in the office, like in the head office and the region office, and etc. So as I mentioned before, that 25% to 50% we are ask them to go to the office, but the rest is we can go. They can work at home. They can work from the satellite office or remote working or etc. So yes, of course. Since that is the case, we only meet with our friend, our co-workers every 2 days actually,
Right.
except in the operation office or something, or branch office, something like that. So they work every day, but we cut off the time of working hours. So instead of like the maximum to serve the customer 6 hours, we cut off like 5 hours per day,
Oh,
something
that's
like that.
nice. That's nice. I know, every being in the telecom industry, most of your people, I think, staff are on site, right? Trying to service customers. Majority of your staff. Do you have a counselor option in your organization?
We do actually. It's like a helpline. So for people who
Okay.
would like to get in touch with our mental health counselors, it's
Okay.
made available to them. The interesting part is we also came up with our own app. Okay. Our
Okay.
own app that allows us, that makes it easier for us and for our employees to get help. The app is called Dude. Dude
Okay.
stands for Digital Usher for Disasters and Recovery.
Dude.
So yes,
Nice.
it's linked to our Facebook Messenger. So let's say I will
Okay.
just look for that. if I look for that app, all I have to do is find the bot. It's a bot that's already integrated into Facebook Workplace, and then that bot will link me in with a mental health counselor. So it looks like this actually. So if you see that,
Nice.
there's a I'm
Interesting.
good, good, I'm not
Dude
good.
bot. Yeah.
If I press the I'm not good, which I will not do right now, because if I click it, it will send that
Okay.
message to the people who's actually working on that app. So
Okay.
they will when they get that, they will contact me. So let's say I report that I have COVID or that I need mental health support, they will contact me immediately.
And these are external vendors that you have tied up with, or these are internal, external? Okay.
External,
So,
yes.
like I wanted to say, I did want to mention that having counselors is good, but they need to make sure that they know what they're saying without being judgmental, because sometimes you might have the wrong people in the wrong place, and you just might worsen the situation of the caller, right? So
Yes.
yes, so you've tied up with external providers that are specialists in the area of
Mhm.
counseling and mental health. Fantastic. So Avery, back to you. Now, what advice would you share for an organization who's updating their total rewards approach? It could be tools, it could be any roadblocks that they're facing, any prerequisites, implementation tips. I know you've shared some amazing things that you are doing, but what would you share with somebody that is just coming up, who has no reward and recognition program on board, or people who might have it, and how can they improve it? What would you say? What would you suggest?
Mm-hmm. Nothing fancy from my end, Helen. It's a very pragmatic advice. You need to keep your ears to the ground. Talk with your employees, take their feedback in terms of what is working, what is not working, what has value, what does not have value. For sure, you will not implement everything, but at least you get inputs that you know will actually work, because one of the things we always have to remind ourselves as HR practitioners, the customer is not us. We get so
Yes.
desensitized with the HR programs that we do. Sometimes we think this is it, this is beautiful, but we are not our customers. The employees are the customers. And if we
Yes.
really want to deliver something that is of value to our customers, and that would be our employees, the best way to go is to listen to them, talk with them, and their inputs will inform our decision making in terms of how we will update our total rewards program, so that we can really provide best in class employee experience and achieve the aspiration of keeping a highly productive and highly engaged workforce.
True, true. You rightly said, if you keep your internal customers happy, automatically that translates to your external customers, because they talk from a space of confidence, they talk from a space of happiness, they talk from a space of being valued. So that value they pass on. And you rightly said that. That's amazing. I love the Dude app. I think it's a great name to have, a very hip and happening app as well, in terms of terming it dude. So that's that's extremely good. So Anu, what I would just share the question back to you as well. What advice would you share for an organization who's
Yep.
updating their total rewards approach?
Well, I think we are really work on the again. As I mentioned before, I think we are focusing on non-financial reward rather than the financial reward. I think
Good.
that's the most important things that we want to to give more experience to the employees,
Yes.
and some of them, something like we use that is we include on the total reward. Also we have like remote work, as I mentioned before. They can work the office or the branch close to their house, so they can work in the our satellite office and etc. And also we have like the not tightening the expense reimbursement, especially for medical benefit. Usually, when we have the tight implementation, tight operation of the medical benefit, but we 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 try to have a loosen up the process of the expense reimbursement. Also, we trying to have like implementing the family leave, especially to help and also um, to cope the mental health, especially for the employees who just got COVID-19, or the family just got the COVID-19, and also the you know that is the good things, and we impose our on-site healthcare for the
Okay.
COVID-19. So we hire the personal doctor for COVID-19 team for the COVID-19, and we help them to evacuate on the hotel or hospital that has signed a contract with agreement with my company. That's the some of the total reward, especially on a non-financial reward that we impose on after the pandemic. Maybe it's
Excellent.
not, maybe it's different when the pandemic over, but we trying to help, we trying to give the employee experience better off in the medical or the total reward in term of the non-cash benefit.
True. I think you rightly said employee experience is the most impactful. Avery has shared some details. You have shared some amazing initiatives that you all are doing within your organization, and I think that is going to take your organizational, getting your performance rate increased. The higher, better rate of employee performance, and that will translate into business anyway. And you also mentioned about being aware and of mental health issues that employees might face on-site, imposing on-site healthcare, which I think imposing online healthcare is mandatory, and I think that again is a great step in the right direction. It's very very heartening to note that you all have got some amazing initiatives within your organizations, and you all at the head of HR are championing these causes, sharing it with the audience. Now I think people will, it's like Avery said, you've got to think out of the box. You can't be bucketed in the same place that you are, and I think you'll have shared some amazing ideas and initiatives that our audience can implement. It's not a one size fits all, I understand that, but again, take the best and try to fit it in your environment. With that, thank you so much to both of you. I appreciate your time. I know we had these technical issues with the network. It's unfortunate that Sandrine could not join us, but we definitely will have her back, at some other time, and we'll have you all back again. Avery, I know I was trying, hard to have you last year, but you were busy. But I'm glad you joined us this year. Anung, thank you so much for your time. Appreciated your patience as well. Very welcome. Very welcome. We're so honored to have you all share such amazing insights with us. And
Me
I'm
too.
sure my audience is going to take a great takeaway from all that you all have shared. And continue to stay in touch,
Yeah,
continue to empower your people, because
sure.
there's no greater force than HR.